Alright folks, welcome back to the channel, and we got another neat review for you here today. This is the Divesoft Analyzer Blender Pro set. This is a piece of equipment that I purchased with my own money. Like all the pieces of equipment on this gear channel, it was not donated to the cause in favor of a good review, and here goes our review. Before we get into that, I insist that every technical diver at a nitrox level be using or have their own oxygen analyzer, and if they are going to be doing any gas diving or helium-based gas diving, they have to have a TRIMIX analyzer. This is not the responsibility of a dive shop, a charter operator, or an instructor to supply. This is not a cheap sport to be in. This is a necessary evil. Before you buy yourself a second technical diving computer, you should have a reliable TRIMIX analyzer. Now, the way this came to me, we purchased this, I'm going to say, about a year ago now. I've been quite happy with it. Before that, we had a Analox TRIMIX analyzer, and it uses a little bit different technology. It uses a chemical-based oxygen sensor and a chemical-based helium sensor. The trouble with the chemical-based helium sensors is they have a life cycle, and I want to say that's between 2 and 5 years, depending on how they're stored. Certainly keeping them in an airtight case certainly helps, but eventually that sensor is shot, and the cost of those sensors is around $300. Could be more, could be less. I haven't looked at them lately, and that operating cost really starts to kick your butt in a hurry. This unit uses a chemical-based oxygen sensor, very similar to what's in the Analox, or just about any oxygen analyzer, but also the same sensor that's used in just about every rebreather or Molex style rebreather. So you can get away with using a rebreather sensor, which are, I'm going to say, less than $100. You know, people will argue that you have to change them every year. I certainly don't. I change them when they current limit are unable to analyze 100% oxygen to 100% or 99%, so that's how we know it's time to toss it. But we can get into that, and that's an argument or discussion for another day. But again, the cost of operating, the cost of ownership, long term, is significantly less. It's again a buy once, cry once. You buy in, and then you have it for life. The way that it measures helium concentration is through sound. So we all know that when we breathe helium and then we try to talk, it changes the pitch of our voice. Well, when we flow sound through an orifice or a chamber, depending on the amount of helium in it, it will change the pitch or how fast that sound moves through that gas. And that's the technology that the Divesoft, they've been out for at least 10 years, probably 15. They've been using that technology to manage or measure helium. And it really is quite ingenious. So once this fires up, you can hear that ticking, and if you were to flow a gas through it, that pitch would change. That is essentially a lifetime helium sensor, so you never have to replace it. What's really cool about that is again, your cost of ownership is way less than a chemical-based helium analyzer. So this is the kit. Again, I don't know if I would buy this complete kit again moving forward, but I am quite happy with it. So it comes with the analyzer, and this is the Pro. This is the top of the line. It'll analyze your helium content, oxygen content. It can actually be used to calculate blending solutions, and it also has the ability to interface through this serial connector with a set of test leads, and it turns it into a voltmeter or an ohm meter. And I guess it's cool, it's handy. I bought this because I wanted the top dog, but I don't think I would have bought the top dog again moving forward, because I don't know how necessary it is to have a voltmeter at the dive site every day. But I guess it's cool to have it. I guess it'd be handy. That said, do you want to use a $1,000 analyzer to measure battery voltage when you can go to Harbor Freight and get a decent voltmeter for $25 or $30? So I kind of think that that's an unnecessary thing to have, but it is cool to have. The kit comes with the charger, which this needs to be charged if you didn't already notice. Comes with the charger. It comes with the professional flow limiter, and there has been a recall on some of these. This serial number has been checked. It's safe. And I think they've redesigned this so it may look a little bit different, but it still works nonetheless. So professional flow limiter. So this allows you to screw into your DIN connection directly and then plug in flow gas to the analyzer and measure from a bare tank. And it also comes with this hose here, which is going to connect to the flow limiter and the other end into the analyzer, right? That's great when you don't have your regs on your gear. One thing that I've always been a proponent of is make it simple, make it easy. Take people's excuses away. If I have to tear down my rebreather or take the regs off of my gear to analyze, I'm certainly less likely to do it if it's a hassle. So there's one other little piece of kit that doesn't come with the unit, but I recommend you order one. Order two because you might lose it. When you order a kit, we stock these at Fully Tech Marine. This is a low pressure inflator adapter. It's got a little tiny orifice. You probably can't see it because I can't get the camera to focus on that. But that plugs into a low pressure inflator hose. So this end is plugged into the analyzer. This plugs into your low pressure inflator for dry suit inflator whip or a BC inflator. Most rebreather divers are running low pressure quick connects on all their stage and bailout bottles. So this allows you to do a quick last minute check. You got to make sure you shake the water out of those low pressure inflators before you plug them in. But it's quick, right on the boat. You know, last minute check with the rig together. You can verify. And I said these are only again a couple of bucks, maybe 20 bucks, and that just opens a whole new world. And that's something Divesoft hasn't done a very good job of informing people that this thing exists, because you wouldn't believe how many people I see at a dive site that I show that to and their mind is blown that they didn't even know it exists. The other thing that doesn't come with this kit that I've put in here is a muffler. And if you're doing a bunch of blending and you need to bleed down some tanks to refill them, or it's hydro time or whatever, screw this guy into your DIN, open the valve, and it has got a bunch of little holes here, and it's going to change the way that the air flows through it, and it runs out a lot quieter rather than listening to tanks bleed down for 20 minutes at 2,000 decibels. So that's been a real nice piece to add to the kit and kind of complete it. Now, if I were doing it all over again, I love this kit. I do. I love the way it travels. It's a nice, robust case. But I probably would have just bought the Divesoft Solo. The Divesoft Solo does everything this thing does, except it doesn't do the gas calculations, and it doesn't have the interface to be a volt and ohm meter. Two things that I can do without, as I have an app on my phone that is far easier to use than this is for recalculating gas mixes. And again, I'll carry a $20 Harbor Freight voltmeter to a dive site before I screw around with this thing. That said, it's excellent, it's robust, it's tough. I think it's probably going to last, 20 years is kind of my expectation if taken care of. I wish that they offered this case or a similar case for the Solo, because that makes a heck of a difference too. And I think that's probably why I bought it. It was a nice, neat little package. It's perfect. And I use it every single dive. If you're not analyzing your gas before every single dive, you are an accident waiting to happen. Anyways, thanks for watching this review. Hopefully you pick up a couple little tips. Certainly the low pressure inflator adapter is one that a lot of people don't know about. I recommend everybody that is technical diving own one of these or something similar. It's an important part of your safe diving routine. Thanks for watching.